And again, you see that this is style, this is glamour, high fashion. Incidentally, the Alkebalanians, the ancient Cometics, were very, very trendy with fashion, as you can see. They were the most fashionable people of that time period. So a lot of your fashion today is nothing more than an imitation of what our ancient Kemetic ancestors did. Don't tell me God did not put that in us to do these wonderful things. That's why we are not the images that have been shown to us, as we're not primitive people, we're not savage people, we are highly class people. What's happening in this time period is people are trying to make us believe something we're not. But as you can see with Queen Ty, Amenhotep III's wife, not so. And how long ago was this? Oh, this was about maybe about 4,000 years ago. This is about 4,000 years ago. And this was about maybe 2,000, 3,000 BC, before Christ. This is what you have here. Wonderful picture. Wonderful image. And finally, let's look at something important here, something that you really need to see. Image does tell you a lot of things. It tells you a lot about who you are. It tells you a lot about what you can do. And really, when it comes down to it, we really need to know who we really are as a people. Let's see. Okay, I think I found it. Yes, I did. Okay. Now, we were talking about Harun Maket, but there was something else behind Harun Maket. And we're going to look at an example of the great architectural design. This is the first step pyramid, and it was for King Dosher, or Zosher, King Zosher. And the one that created this step pyramid, oh, incidentally, the word pyramid is not correct. Pyramid means flat cake or pancake. Actually, pyramid is not the word that the ancient Kemetics used. The name of it really is a mir. It is mir. So this is a mir that the ancient Kemetics, or the Kemetics, made. And as you can see, there's 6 stages to it, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There should be. There's a bottom stage which you can't really, you may not be able to make out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But what you can see in this is it's a large structure, and the one that it was made for, Emperor King Zosha. Let's get his picture there. Okay, this is a statue of King Zosha. And as you can see, the African features again. King Zosha. King Zosha is an African, ancient Kemetic, or a Kemetic, Alkebalanian, or if you want to use the vernacular, black person. This is a statue. This is the king that step pyramid was made for. And if I have, this is King Zosher's look painted. As you can see, the brown skin. He's an African, stylized. Okay, it's very important that you know this, because really the Kemetics are responsible for modern civilization coming to pass. You are responsible, that is, our ancestors are responsible for the sciences, the maths, the medicines. They had all their bases, the laws, even nationhood came through the Kemetics, which you'll find out more about in the program, the Us God Power for Black People program. Okay, I believe we're going to finish with this. Images are very important. They'll either make you feel good about yourself, or they may not. Now, oh yes, we're not finished yet. The first king. Oh, pardon me. Before we get to the first king, this is the architect of the Mir, or the pyramid, which is really not. This person's name is Imhotep. Not the one to be confused with the movie where the guy was all evil and everything. Imhotep was the first recorded multi-genius. Not only was he responsible for the construction or the design of the Mir, again, not only was he responsible for its construction, but he was also important for medicine. As a matter of fact, well, first let's see the Mir again. He's responsible for this Mir here. He was not only responsible for creation of the Mir, but he was responsible for medicines. As a matter of fact, the Greeks that received a lot of their civilization, their knowledge of how to make things, credit Imhotep for the medicines they got. They called him the god Asclepius. I believe that's how it's pronounced, or Asclepius. So Imhotep, an African, is remembered by the ancient Greeks as being the father for them of medicine. So again, this is a very important image for you. Not only is he responsible for the technology of this Mir, but also for medicine. He was the vizier for the king Zoser. Again, King Zoser. Let's superimpose that a little bit. Okay. So this king, this king Imhotep made this Mir for his body, for his burial. And again, he's an African. African features. Now, some people might say, gee, I never knew that. I know, because images are very important to know. Oh, incidentally, before we go to the first pharaoh, the Mir finally became more stylized. Our people became good at it. Very good and excellent. And what did they do? Later on, as you see, some of the Mirs are there. But now you see the Great Mir, or the Great Pyramids. And you'll find out some fascinating information about the Great Mir, or the Great Pyramid, in the Us God Power for Black People program. Needless to say, no one knows how our people built these things. They tried. They tried using what they believed were the tools of the time. They tried to float it down, the giant granite rocks. And those rocks weighed an average of 2.5 tons each. And they can't figure it out. They don't know how our ancient Kemetic ancestors did it. So there's greatness in you. God put that in you. God put wonder in you. God put intelligence in you. It's in your DNA. It's in your DNA. It's time for you to start using that. We're going to learn how. Again, we're looking at the solution to defeat racism. And the first solution is to know God's great past that we have in God in terms of the Kemetics. And again, Moses was a Kemetic. How do I know that? Because when Zipporah, his future wife, told her father how she got back so soon, her father Jethro or Raul, she said, an Egyptian rescued us from the shepherds and fed and watered our sheep. Well, the only way she knew he was an Egyptian was what he wore, which we saw if you can go back in the series on Moses. He wore Egyptian garb, and also, let's face it, he was of African descent. How do you know that, Brother Sims? Where was he born? He wasn't born anywhere but in Kemet, or ancient Egypt. Where's that? In the Middle East? Not really. It's on the continent